Nation is sometimes referred to as the most beautiful Tanzanian red lake and also the most deadly. And also it has a very high rate of alkalinity, and that makes it quite caustic in nature. This is because of the adjacent volcano amongst other things. And it occasionally turns red or orange red in color, and that is just one thing that distinguishes it from every other lake. It's its occasional red color. It is highly poisonous to every animals around it, and for that fact we tend to see inward and outward of the lake a lot of dead animals, and it even turns animal into stone. More reason we need to talk about five amazing facts about this particular lake that can turn animals into stone, and it is in Tanzania, called Lake Nation. Thank you very much for joining the only sexy Chigumambi of Lagos on this platform today, and if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, do that right now and make sure that you're following this video to the end, because you'll be learning amazing facts about this Lake Nation. So for those of you that have never heard about this Lake Nation, it is in Tanzania and it has several amazing facts. Let's start with the first one. It is called phantom rain. A lot of people don't know what phantom rain means, but the fact that rain falls on this lake, yes, rain falls around and we see that, but most of the rain turns out to be phantom rain. It is a situation whereby the rain tends to evaporate before it even touches the surface. That is quite miraculous. And another thing is that only flamingos tend to survive on this lake. You know, I said earlier that this lake has the capacity of turning animals into stone and killing the animals instantly. Of course, you've turned the animal into stone, what else is left? So only flamingos have been studied to be able to survive on this lake. And this lake is the largest breeding site for all kinds of flamingos, but it has some bacteria in it, and this bacteria is what tends to kill the other animals. But flamingos just have this distinctive form, should I call it that way, that does not allow this bacteria to be able to kill it, and it survives perfectly on Lake Nation. Lake Nation also tends to have it tends to be referred to as a terminal lake. It is a terminal lake because it does not have anywhere it is flowing into. And the same thing is for Lake Bahi. So Lake Nation and Lake Bahi are two alkaline lakes in the East Africa, and these two tend to not have anywhere they are going to. It's not like when the old lake moves, you know, the way the lake moves and it goes somewhere. It's not going anywhere. It tends to bring itself together because of the hot spring. So it evaporates itself because it tends to be extremely hot at some point in time. It is also containing of extremely toxic water. When I say toxic, I mean it. Well, there's been several tourists that have been to this particular lake and they've been able to survive it. But this lake has its water content extremely toxic. Another fact is that this lake is extremely toxic. It is highly toxic because it has in it large salt, it has soda, and it also contains magnesite. And all of this can be found in this lake, extremely living there. Like, it's just something you will see at how do I call it? At impulse. It just resides in this lake. And this toxicity of this lake is what makes it to damage the internal organ. So if it is an animal, if an animal should by mistake take any little content of this lake, then it's internally damaging the whole system. Every intestine, every organ in there, it has the power to damage it. That shows you how toxic the water from this lake can be. And the last on the list is that it has a very, very hot and high temperature. At least it covers about 60 degrees Celsius. You can even see and behold the site of this lake, its hotness, its redness from the space. That is how much it is strong. And another thing is that the degree of its hotness is something that can, just imagine 60 degrees Celsius. It can boil water. It's always very high, and that is the reason it does not need to flow into anywhere. It can absorb itself, evaporate, something that even tends to evaporate the rain before it gets to the surface. That shows you how much toxic this Lake Nation is. This fact and among other facts are what makes up this lake, and several people have been making research as to what caused this whole phenomenon. But in the due time, well, we'll be able to get the whole research and know what caused it. I will remain the only sexy sugar mommy of Lagos, taking you through the best of lifestyle tips on this platform. Please do well to follow, like, and share every of our social media platform, because you always get amazing content and learn something on a daily basis. Thank you.